Paul Burell isn't holding back anymore. Once the loyal butler who stood at Princess Diana's side through her most vulnerable years, Burell has now turned his fire directly on Prince Harry. His words? Brutal. He's called Harry a two-faced little cheat. And while that may sound like a tabloid headline, this is coming from a man who watched Harry and William grow up. A man who knew Diana's secrets better than anyone else. And according to him, Harry has betrayed him in the worst way imaginable. So let's rewind. How did we get here? Back in 2017, Burell, long retired from royal service, was unexpectedly summoned to Kensington Palace. The request came from William and Harry themselves. They wanted a private, no-holds-barred conversation about their mother. They asked him to share memories, insights, even painful truths about Diana's marriage to Charles. Burell agreed, not for money, not for headlines, but out of loyalty. He sat with the brothers, opened up about Diana's world, and left believing he had honored the memory of the woman he'd served faithfully. But 6 years later, during Prince Harry's high-profile lawsuit against Mirror Group newspapers, that loyalty came crashing down. In his witness statement, Harry publicly dragged Burell's name through the mud, reviving an old accusation that he had profited from Diana's possessions, a claim the courts had already dismissed years ago. For Burell, this wasn't just a cheap shot, it was a betrayal. He says that 2017 meeting wasn't about closure at all. It was a trap. Harry got what he needed, emotional detail to feed his own narrative, and later threw Burell under the bus when it was convenient. That's when Burell snapped. In his new memoir, The Royal Insider, he finally lays everything bare, not just about Harry, but about the monarchy itself, his own struggles with identity, his marriage breakdown, even his battle with cancer. He's not polishing the silver anymore. He's stripping away the shine. One of the most shocking stories he shares takes us back to the day Harry was born. Burell claims that when Charles saw his newborn son's red hair, he looked suspiciously at Diana and coldly remarked, "Now I have my heir and spare. I can return to Camilla." If true, that comment could explain decades of resentment. Burell recalls telling Harry this in that 2017 meeting. Harry's response? Silence. No expression, no reaction. Just a cold stare. And yet, even after hearing something so raw, Harry still turned around years later and branded Burell a villain in court. To Burell, that's not just anger, that's heartbreak. Despite the criticism he's faced over the years, Burell insists his love for Diana was real. He respected the Queen, he adored William, and he once cared deeply for Harry, until Harry became someone he no longer recognizes. But Burell's book doesn't just target Harry. It paints a vivid picture of palace life, a place where dignity reigned in public, but chaos often ruled behind closed doors. He describes staff sneaking alcohol in teapots, scandalous late-night encounters, and an unspoken rule. What happened inside those walls stayed there, until it didn't. Perhaps the most poignant revelation involves the late Queen herself. Burell writes that after Prince Philip's death, she was quietly diagnosed with bone marrow cancer. Rather than retreat from duty, she asked doctors if she could hold on until her platinum jubilee. She gave up alcohol, cleaned up her diet, and fought to stay alive, not for herself, but for her country. Burell draws a sharp contrast, the stoic Queen carrying the weight of duty in silence, while her grandson in California launched media projects and public attacks. Still, Burell isn't blind to the family's flaws. He acknowledges Charles's alleged coldness toward Diana, even quoting her claim that Charles once told her, "I never loved you. I only married you to have children." But Burell argues Harry has crossed a line, not by exposing dysfunction, but by exploiting it. At its core, Burell says Harry wants the perks of royalty without the responsibility, silencing others while insisting on his own right to speak. And Burell refuses to let Harry monopolize Diana's legacy. He insists he was there during her darkest moments, and he won't be written out of history. The book also offers surprisingly tender, even funny details, like the Queen nibbling on a favorite chocolate egg during foreign tours, or Burell being warned to lock his bedroom door because palace staff sometimes wandered in after too many drinks. These moments don't exist to scandalize, they humanize. For Burell, the monarchy isn't just an institution. It's a flawed, complicated family that once showed him kindness when he needed it most. And that's why Harry's actions cut so deep. He believes Harry had everything: wealth, freedom, and no pressure to be king. He could have been a bridge between tradition and progress. Instead, Burell says, he chose to become a wrecking ball. In the end, the royal insider isn't about revenge. It's about remembrance. About preserving Diana's memory, honoring the Queen's dignity, and defending himself from being cast as a disposable pawn. Paul Burell may not be perfect, but in his eyes, if Harry gets to tell his story, then so does he.